sky. Vengeance in its eyes, vengeance in its eyes. All hope seems to die when he sees your eyes running through the night. Only takes him back, always out of sight, crowding through the night. Run, you can run, but you'll never hide. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming.
Good evening. It is Sunday night, and it is great, is it not, to have extra time back. The show that has the final word on the weekend's action, dissects it, and looks forward, of course, to the next game. We have an absolutely fantastic lineup of guests coming on the show tonight. So we're going to be getting stuck in. We're going to be looking at the weekend's game. We're going to be looking ahead. We're doing the man of the match, main points, talking about the January transfer window and everything in between. So let's, without any further ado, let's start to introduce our guests. We have young Lewis that's back with us tonight. Lewis, great to have you join in. How are you?
Hi there. I'm good, thank you, and happy to be back as well. I hope you had a good Christmas. Well, I don't think I've seen you since then, so.
No, how was your New Year?
Yeah, it was a really good, thank you. Just I spent a lot of time with my family, which was, really nice.
Fantastic. Also on the show this evening, he was there down in Brighton, Bristol yesterday, meeting up with a Bristol City fan. I'm sure we'll hear more about that. It is Boston Brian from Southampton.
Hello,
How you doing,
Dave.
Brian?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Lewis.
You okay?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Yeah. Happy.
Fantastic. And we also have joining us tonight, charismatic Craig, who's been, just before we came on here, he was playing us a tune, Liberace style, on his piano behind. How are you, charismatic?
Really well, thanks, Dave. Evening, Bright. Evening, Lou. How you doing, mate?
Hello, Craig.
Good. Nice to see you guys.
Sound a little bit more enthusiastic, Brian. Last but no means least, he's had a very, very busy period over Christmas because he makes kitchens and everyone wanted them done before Christmas. So, yeah, that's why he's not been on for a while. But he hasn't let us down because he's got the old Tajini tracky top. Back with the show, it is Sooty. How you doing, mate?
Good evening, people.
Fantastic. Now, for those that are listening back on the podcast, would you care to describe the retro top you've got on tonight?
Well, it's just a green and white Sergio Tacchini tracksuit top. Pretty basic, I'd say, Dave.
A classic, though. Now, we do want to say a massive thank you to the guys that power Extra Time, and that's our friends and partners at Creation Wolf, who deliver the industry's and latest and most advanced digital solutions. They're brilliant. That's all I can say. They will take your brand if you've got a business, an online presence, and digital capability to the next level. The link is in the description below, but you can find them on creationwolf.com. And we absolutely love all the support that they give us here on the channel. Right then, so I'm really looking forward to this one tonight. So much has happened. We haven't had an extra time for a couple of weeks because of the way it's gone. So we've had all the Christmas fixtures. We've got the FA Cup, everything surrounding that. Who wants to go first about all of that and yesterday? Who wants to go first?
Don't rush.
You spoke first, Sooty, so you can go.
Good evening again, everybody. Where are we getting off from here? Is it where after Ipswich? Is it that long ago?
It's been a while since you've been here. We've had a couple before in between, but obviously you were working hard and
yeah.
I
So I suppose
go to a few games because of all the work they had to do. But like,
well, I think he's
had
had
your thoughts. I think everyone would like to get your thoughts on what's happened since Ipswich and, of course, yesterday, mate. So just knock yourself out.
Well, there's clearly some structure in the place again now. It's not utter chaos as it was before. As we well know, that's what it was. That's fact. It was a proper shit show. No structure, no leaders. Didn't even look like they were playing for him or the badge, which to a certain degree I get them losing faith in Gary O'Neill, but you should never lose faith in the badge. Never. You should have self-pride. As I've said to you before, football's a really simple game and it's made difficult by fools. But you, as a professional footballer, especially an outfield player, you could basically drop into any position in that on that pitch and play a decent standard. So there's no excuses for downing tools really for me, whether you get on with a manager or not. Anyway, that's the past. There's clear change. Vito Pereira's come in. 3 wins, 1 draw, and a loss. The loss, to be honest, well, yeah, it looks bad on paper, but were they that much better than us? They were just clinical. And we had a very young side out that between goals 1 and 2 for 40 minutes, absolutely battered Forest, but just not clinical enough. Reasonings for this? Well, I said this yesterday on our way back from Bristol. For all the good that Strand Larsen's been this season, and he's done really well, the lad, but he's got to start taking half of these chances that he's being delivered, because some of them are literally on a plate. And now he should be on 13 or 14 goals, because some of the chances he's had are gilt-edged chances, absolute gilt-edged chances. I'm not putting him in the same category as prime Raul, but Raul would be, with those chances, because he never had that many chances, would have 15, 16 goals now. And that's the levels that he's got to start looking at. Yes, he puts the donkey work in. Yes, he puts a shift in. But when the chances are presented to him on a plate, like I could count you another 7 or 8 he's had, where even he will look at them and think, I should score there. But it's much better. There's no denying that.
The irony on Strand Larsen, he scored the hardest one of the lot against Tottenham.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those. You've got to get the ones that are just going to trickle over the line, and that as well. You know, the scruffy goals, they're the ones that are going to get you points. And we could have feasibly, without 2 lapses of concentration, gone in against Forest 2 or 3 up.
Yeah,
that's the fact of the matter. I mean, Forest, if I'd have brought you in from outer space from minute 7 to minute 44 and said to you which team here is 3rd in the league, you wouldn't have said Nottingham Forest, because they've absolutely battered them. But they're clinical. We knew what we were going to expect with a Nuno side. It's structure. It's set in stone. He never changes. We knew what we were going to get. And if they went 1-0 up, then we knew it would be very hard to break down. They've got the best defence in the league. That's fact. But, you know, we can't complain. It's much better than it was. But, and here's my but, that's all the positives. We are now on what? The 12th of January. We have made 1 signing. This isn't quick enough for me, Dave. We need, for me, 3 more players and a few out the door as well. I'm not saying we've got to keep everybody that's there. I get it. Some of them have got to go. Some big earners that are just not going to be picked. But we need round pegs in round holes now, because games are going to fly by, and this is a tough period. The next 7 or 8 games is really, really tough. It's like the start of the season all over again, and we can't afford to drop back into losing habits, because it's going to knock our confidence. So Mr. Hobbs, Mr. Shee, and hopefully Mr. Mendes have got us 3 players lined up this week to come in that are oven ready. I don't want no future stars. I don't want no. We've got plenty of them. Plenty of them. We saw a couple of them yesterday, and I'm very happy with them. But we need oven ready Premier League players to get us out of the shit, because Ipswich ain't going away and they're spending some money as well. So we got to keep in front of them.
Absolutely. The point that you say there, I'm going to come on to Lewis next, because Lewis talked a lot about the start of the January window previously, and I want to get his take and obviously his reaction to what you said. But it's interesting what you should say about all of those points there, Sutty, and what, coming in. Lewis, obviously we haven't had you on for a little while. You've been obviously had a lot of family commitments over Christmas, and obviously doing stuff with Amy as well. You spoke very eloquently in the past about the test is on Mr. Hobbs, how fast he comes out the blocks in January. Has he passed that test for you, or is the jury still out?
No, he's still. There's still time. We still have enough time to sign players. But I really wish that we had a centre back for the Forest game. We could have had him in on the 1st of January. I understand that things can happen. I think that maybe the centre back they wanted, the Kevin Danzo from Lens, or it looks like he decided he didn't want to come, and that can happen. And I prefer that the player said, I don't want to go there, than to have come and not been committed. That's completely fine. You don't want to come here, that's fine. So I get that they had to then adapt and find the next best candidate. And from what people said yesterday, that he looked really good. So that's fine. But I really wish that he was there for Forest, because it could have been the difference between another point and maybe even 3 if the strikers had done their jobs. So I'm a bit disappointed with that. But it's gone a bit quiet at the minute. I know that we're looking maybe at the left back who can play centre back and midfield from Chelsea, Viega, and
he's apparently going to Dortmund. Is it? Who did you say he's going to, Emma? Borussia Dortmund.
Is that Viega or Chukwuemeka?
Viega.
Oh, okay. That's a disappointment to me. I thought we'd get him.
Was saying earlier.
Yeah, I thought we'd get a Viega, to be honest. I was really convinced that would happen.
That's only what Emma's been told me yesterday. From what information did you get on that? She's looking at the source of. She's going to come back to me on that one, but yeah apparently he's going to Borussia Dortmund. If
Fabrizio says so, then yeah, for sure that's what's going to happen. But I thought we'd get him, but still, I agree with Suti. We still need more than what we've shown at the moment. And things can happen in the background and nobody can know about it. That's okay. But we need a bit more, because, again, as Suti said, with the run of fixtures that's coming up, the quicker we get the players in, the better a chance we have of having a stronger squad to beat those big tough teams that are coming. And I'm happy that there is work going on with George's players. I think that Viega is one who is a guest food client. So I'm happy that Matt Hobbs isn't kind of shying away from the return of George, with Wolves. I think it would be stupid to do that, and as soon as the manager came in and it looked like the club kind of went above Matt Hobbs' head to get him and to work with George again, it can be a bit of a difficult one for Matt to take. But I'm glad that he looks like he's willing to work with him, because why wouldn't we work with somebody who has access to such great players? We don't need to use him exclusively. You can see that with the centre back we signed. But why would you not use him in the same way that I feel like he was pulling against him in the past?
Well, I think we kind of know that, don't we? How many players do you think we need to bring in? I think Vitor Pereira, in his recent press conference, confirmed exactly what Suti was saying, and I think what we've all said. Vitor Pereira says we need players to help us now, not in the future. And Vitor has come out about that. He did. I mean, Gary, when he left, before he left, sort of hung the players out to dry. Said, like, what interviewer asked him is the answer in the dressing room. He said it appears not. Vitor has kind of said the answers are there. He's been really pleased with the players and how they've responded. but he said that we do need some players to help. He said 2 or 3 players.
Yeah.
Such is kind of saying 3 or 4. I'm guessing. What are you kind of saying? Do you think another 1 or 2, or do you think we need a bit more than that?
Yeah, I agree completely with this because I think players for the future are a luxury, because at the minute we're in a relegation battle and that's coming in May. The players for the future will be good in two seasons or 2 or 3. We got to be in the Premier League to get that value out of those players. So the players for now are definitely the priority. And I think there are players in this team that they have the answers. I don't agree with Gary at all. You can see that the difference in quality, same players, just a different way of playing, different manager complete. So there are answers there, but I think, if we sign another 2 or 3 more players, well, then you have a lot more solutions and you can play it maybe in a different way, or you can change games with different players that can come off the bench, So I think I would like another centre-back or somebody like Viega who can play in a number of positions, because I think that gives you a bit more flexibility. I also like that he can play on the left of the back 3, because I think we're quite vulnerable there. Obviously with Totti out at the moment, so I like that. I think if Johnston goes, I'd like a goalkeeper, because I'm not convinced by Bentley, but it's not really a priority, really. I think you have a lot of other things you have to worry about at the minute. And then possibly a striker, because, as Suchi said, Strand Larsen's done well. I agree completely. He's exceeded how I thought he would be in his first season. But I still think that sometimes having that competition for him, to know that he isn't going to be the first choice striker alongside Cunha, who plays obviously a bit deeper, just for him to know that. And also, if he gets injured, we're in a bit of a tricky situation again, because we can't play the way we are playing at the moment if Cunha's in his position. Cunha is fantastic because he has that freedom. If all of a sudden you put him in Larsen's position, it changes the way we play a lot. So
currently he'd probably play either wang or get us down the middle. There has been links and talk about, is it Nacho that was the guy that was at Leicester and now's at where is he now?
Sevilla
at the moment. Because there's been talk about potentially Inacho coming in. What would be your thoughts on him?
I think it's tough, Dave. It's not the player that I would pick, but when I saw him at Leicester, it seems like he'd have patches of play. So he'd be scoring maybe 3 or 4 games in a row, and then he'd go quite quiet. So he's probably not the player I'd pick, but if the club have obviously tracked him in detail to be interested in him, and if they've seen something there, then they are in a much better place than me to have that opinion. But he's not the kind of player I'd go for.
Who would you go for, Lewis? I'm going to go Brian and then Craig in a second.
It's hard for me to give you a name, to be honest. I haven't prepared anything
what
like
type of
that.
player?
Yeah, so I wouldn't go an exact copy of Strand Larsen. I wouldn't have a 6'4", really tall target striker. I would have someone who can play in a slightly different way. Still a 9, not someone like Cunha, but somebody who can offer maybe a fast striker who can get in behind the line. So if the game is struggling, the defence are doing really well handling Strand Larsen and the way he plays, well, then you bring on something different. Somebody who's going to run in behind it and try and create something that way, rather than holding the ball up and playing that way. So I think just having that different option is something that would be really valuable to us for the rest of the season.
Okay, brilliant. Brian, I want to bring you on this. We'll talk about the game from yesterday in a bit, and then obviously look at all of that, and then look forward to the rest of the window, and all of that sort of stuff. But listening to what Sutty and Lewis has said, and Craig, will come to you in a second with your thoughts, because you're looking very studious there. Brian, what's your take? Obviously, you've been around the Southampton Academy. You've seen young players come through. Do you think there's anything in, some of the players that we've got? How many players do we need to bring in? What's your take on what Lewis and Sutty have had to say?
Yeah, I'd say it's got to be a minimum of 2, a minimum, bare minimum of 2, and preferably 3. I think we do need a new centre back. I don't know who that would be. As far as strikers are concerned, don't forget West Ham in exactly the same position as we were last season. They've lost 4 strikers, haven't they?
Yeah, they lost
the
another.
German guy got injured on whatever day it was, Thursday or Friday, and Gerard Bowen. I know he's not a striker as such, but he's a forward player, but Bowen, and they got the lad who had the car accident, Antonio. They lost him, haven't they, recently? So they're going to be in the market for a striker, aren't they? They've got to buy a striker there, but so that limits our market, doesn't it? Really, because obviously they're probably going to be a bigger pull than us, aren't they? Because of the London club and big stadium and all that. But we definitely, a lad I would like to go for is a lad down the road from me here, and that's Kyle Walker-Peters. He's a very good fullback. He can play left or right, and he's a very talented player. The only thing is, he'd want to play. He wouldn't want to be a squad player. He'd want to play, and his contract's up in the summer, so it'd probably be a good price. I'm surprised people haven't been hovering around for him. Really, he's a good player. As far as there's talk about another midfield player coming in.
Well, I think that's a lot of that. I think Lemina, obviously, he was the captain under Gary O'Neill. All the stuff that offered after that game, the captaincy was taken off him. Vitor's come in. I think Tommy Doyle's ahead of Lemina in the pecking order. So I think Lemina's probably down to number 4 now for definite. And obviously there's been links with him going to Saudi. I think Vitor Pereira came out. Obviously they said he was ill, which is a technical term for his mind's not in the right place at the weekend. And Vitor also said he wants to know if he wants to be here or where he wants to go. They need a solution because obviously they'll need to bring in another midfielder. Lemina, obviously, you know him very, very well. You've actually, you've got some stories about Lemina as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I can't tell you on here though.
Not for this particular chat, but you worked obviously at the Southampton Academy, so you saw him when he was at Southampton. You've seen how his career's developed and now he's at Wolves.
Well, we've had the best 18 months out of his career from when he signed 2 years ago until the end of last season. He was probably our best player, but this season he's been off his game, hasn't he? It started at Arsenal, the very first game of the season. It was his job to close down that cross from Saka, and when Havertz scored. I know people say it was Aït-Nouri, but that was the way Gary O'Neill set up for a corner. He always put Aït-Nouri out on the right. I don't know why, but that's why he always played him there on the right, on the sort of on the edge of the box, to defend from there. Whether it was because he was left-footed, and if the ball went out there, he'd be protecting the goal. Maybe that, but he always did that. But when that ball, the second phase of that corner that came across, Aït-Nouri was on the wrong side, because he was told to be there. And Lemina was 10 yards away from Saka, and Rodrigo was playing left wing in that game. And I remember him screaming to him to close him down, and he just stayed there. And Saka's just picked out Havertz, and he just pinpoint header. And that was the start of it. That was the very, very start of it. And then the second goal, there was a free kick. He was given a free kick against. Instead of standing on the ball, he was just lying on the floor waving his arms around, And then they took that free kick. Aït-Nouri was exposed when Saka came inside, But anyway, it was like the first game of the season. Villa, he didn't pick the second goal. He didn't pick the guy up on the far post. Let him go. And it was a catalogue of that, I was thinking, I think Gary O'Neill probably showed far too much faith in him. He was playing him ahead of Andre. Andre's superb, isn't he?
Andre's doing a much better. Seems to be doing a much better than the Vita. Craig, let's get your take on all of this. You've waited ever so patiently, mate. Obviously, you were there yesterday, and looking forward to Wednesday to go into the Newcastle with you.
Brilliant.
What's your take?
Well, for me, let's start straight away. She and Hobbs are slow, and they're slow in everything they do. and they've been slow now. They were slow in getting rid of Gon. He should have gone 4 or 5 games before he did, and we're now seeing why. Because from literally 2 days of training under the new coach, we suddenly start to see the semblance of a shape, and we're now starting to see a shape in our side. Probably the best performance was Monday night when we were so good against an absolutely clinical side, and every stat we were better in, apart from goals. Strand Larsen, to be honest, needed shooting, and what concerns me here is for 35 minutes yesterday, he was unplayable. He was absolutely unplayable, and then he went to sleep.
What about Strand Larsen?
Yeah, and we never saw him again. And you know, as a striker, when you've got the wingers we've got, how many of those balls come over in the air? How many balls come over? They're always flat balls. So we've got a 6'4" striker there, and we're not using him in his strength. For 35 minutes yesterday, the football was sublime. Rodriguez on the right hand side with Nuri.
Well, Rodrigo Gomez, he's being played more in the same position as he was when he was at Braga, and now we're seeing the best of him. I mean, that's fantastic. That second goal was unbelievable.
But Dave, he's a team player as well. So when he loses a ball, he runs back, and you need that. If you saw Forest on Monday night, when they lost the ball, they got back in shape really, really quickly, and made it really, really hard for us to score. That said, we should have scored 4 or 5 in that first half Monday. We should have been 5-0 up in the first half hour of the game yesterday. So we're creating chances and we're not scoring them, which is a bit of a concern for me. We need a centre half, a centre midfield, a creative midfield player that can pick holes, and a forward that can score goals. A spine. That's what we need. Johnson's not good enough, is he? Wang, I've just got no idea what has happened to that guy. Before he went to the Asia Cup, he was absolutely on fire. He was frighteningly good. He came back and ever since, and it's not just a short run of 4. He has been atrocious. Yesterday, for first half an hour or so, he ran his socks off. But the second half, he was absolutely awful. So overall, the jury's out on the management, on the coach. I love him. He's all about structure. He's all about doing the same things week in, week out, and really good players like that. We absolutely need to buy some more ready-made stars without any doubt at all, and we need to start converting chances. But yeah, we'll find out in the next 5-6 weeks, because I guarantee that we'll pick up more points with these so-called really hard games in the next few games than we did in the first 8 games, because we've got a manager that feels that we can win rather than one that's scared crapless.
And that's really well summed up. So yeah, obviously leave your thoughts in the comments on that. I think we've covered a lot in terms of that. We will come back to it a little bit later on in tonight, and will let you know, guys, we have a little bit of a secret word that's going through. All of us have got to say today. So at the end of the show, you've got to see if you can spot the secret word that everyone's got to try and get in. I'm just going to put on now a little video that's been sent in from one of our international fans, Chris from Norway. His thoughts after yesterday's 2-1 victory over Bristol City in the third round of the FA Cup. And we'll talk more about that when we come back after Chris.
This is Chris from Eidsvoll in Norway, speaking after the victory in the FA Cup 2-1 away at Bristol City. Look, it's always good to get through a cup game, to win a game in the FA Cup, and to get through to the next round, and to be in the draw for the next round, which I think will be on Monday evening more than likely. The game today was, you have to look at the first 30, 35 minutes, and that was absolutely superb from us. The manager's gone strong. He obviously wants to win the game. He wants the momentum to continue since he took over the job. First 35 minutes was absolutely superb. I thought we had full control. And maybe we, took the foot off the gas a little bit on about 35 minutes or so. But still, we weren't in danger until, you have to say that a free kick given away by Wang, totally unnecessary. And injury time in the first half. That's what Wolves do. Wolves concede. And in the end, we ended up winning a game 2-1 and hanging on in a way in a game where we've totally, for large periods, particularly in the first half, outclassed our opposition. And we shouldn't really have come to that. However, that's the way it is in the FA Cup sometimes, and fair play to Bristol City for giving it a good go in the second half, but they got a gift at half-time, which was given to them by Wang. And you'd have to say that's really the only negative in that performance, which is that he was way off again, wasn't he? And, I don't want to pile on this guy. I don't want to... It's hard to see people be so negative about him and be so really damning about some of his performances, but it's there for all to see, isn't it? For me, if he plays at all, he plays as a striker. When he plays that wide, he doesn't contribute anything except for every single attacking move breakdowns with him, gives away fouls, loses a ball, his first touch isn't good enough. And really, he let Bristol City back into a game they should have been way, way out of. In reality, we've won the game 2-1. That, I would say, a fair reflection of the game would have been 4-5-1. Quite easily, we outclassed our opposition. But that's the way it works. You make a mistake, you let the team back in the game, and it becomes a game with jeopardy, but it should not have been. I'm not going to complain too much. This was all about getting through the game and getting into the next round and winning the game now. And you have to say that Vitor Pereira has now been in charge of Wolves for 5 games, and we've won 3 out of 5 games. So there's a marked improvement, isn't there? We see that. So today, mission accomplished. Things are going in the right direction. That we can say. And after the way the last 12 months have gone for us all, we just have to be happy for that.
So there's the take from Chris in Norway. I thought interesting. I hadn't watched that straight away. We've just been talking about Wang, and again, he's over there in Norway. A lot of the international fans picking up on that. Obviously, he sent that after the game. We're going to talk about the Bristol City match now, get everyone's thought on their performance rate, man of the match, and all of that. But we can say that the draw took place after the Arsenal-Manchester United game today. And Wolves have been drawn away to another championship side, almost in an identical position in the table to Bristol City. We're away to Blackburn Rovers. 1960 wasn't there. Brian might have been, potentially.
I was alive.
Yeah, you were there. Wolves 3, Blackburn Rovers 0. And one thing that I thought was really nice, if you watch the reaction after the game yesterday with myself, Paul, Matthew, and Chris Mansell, the gaffer, I asked who you wanted, and he said, "Can we please play Blackburn Rovers?" He was very, very good friends he had a lifelong friend that passed away last year that was a mad Blackburn Rovers fan. And he said he would have loved us to play in the cup. So I thought that was really nice that we've drawn Blackburn Rovers away. So Sutty, on to the performance yesterday, your man of the match, your performance rate, anything that you want to get through, and the draw for the next round. What's your thoughts?
Well, I quickly want to go on, Dave, to Gedesh.
Yeah.
Now, I, for one, probably like most people on here, probably owe him an apology, because I think we're actually seeing the player that we paid £27 million for, because he's actually a very, very important part of this side now. Yesterday, every time he got the ball, he drove forward. I mean, the pass through to Gomez, that little sort of 10-yard eagle-eyed pass. Wow, it was class, wasn't it? And for me, Rodrigo Gomez is a breath of fresh air. He's how he couldn't get in under Gary O'Neill, who deemed he wasn't good enough, amazes me. But we were great for 35 minutes, Dave, and we switched off for 5 at the end of the half and give them a sniff. But as Craig said, we should have been a 5-1 scoreline wouldn't have flattered us yesterday. We battered them. They're poor. If that's championship standard of 8th in the league, then we've battered them. I didn't feel uncomfortable once, to be honest. They've had 2 attempts on goal, one at the crossbar for a scramble, and the free kick, which, let's be honest, Sam Johnson was miles out of position for. Okay, the centre half ducked in the wall, but it was pretty regulation win, to be honest. And on we go to Blackburn, who were very similar in the league to Bristol. I think 1 place above them. We've got to have our wits about us, but we'll have Cunha back. If he's gone this strong in round 3, I expect him to go strong in every single round now. He set his stall. He's going to go strong. He's going to go for it. So we should be putting Blackburn to bed, whether it's played at Blackburn Rovers, Molineux, or on the Moon. We should be putting them to bed.
Well, hopefully there'll be a bit more better atmosphere than on because, like I've heard, that there's not a very good atmosphere on the Moon.
No, I like what you did there, Dave. But we should get 15% of Ewood Park, which will give us a 5,000 away following, roughly. I think it's about 4,800. So you'll have 4,800 raucous Wolves supporters there, sniffing a cup run out, and I fully expect us to go there and win.
Man of the match for you yesterday in your performance rating?
Well, I'm going to give man of the match to young Gomez, Rodrigo Gomez. I think there was lots of candidates. I mean, João Gomez was here, there, every effing where, as the song goes.
Yeah.
But he should be. He's a Brazilian international playing against players that really shouldn't be on the same pitch as him. But Guedes had a great game, as did my man of the match, young Gomez. And I just love the way he plays football, Dave, with a smile on his face. This kid really, really wants to play football. He loves playing football. When he came over at the end to see his girlfriend in the crowd, and he came and they give him a big round of applause and that, and a big beaming smile on his face when he scored. He wants to be here. I want players like that to play for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yeah. I don't want Mario Lemina coming on like he did against Forest, trotting around, shooting from 35 yards, putting it in Rosette of the South Bank, and then laughing about it. I don't want that kind of player at Wolves. If we don't ship him out of Wolves very fast, he's the kind of player that can start messing changing rooms up. He was good for us, but he's got to go. He's not going to get a game in this midfield. Not a chance. He's probably, if Boubacar Traoré comes back fully fit this season, if he doesn't go, I
don't think Boubacar's very far away, to be honest.
He'll be 5th in the pecking order. He ain't going to get a sniff. So he might as well go and get his last big deal. So that's my man of the match. I'll give it an 8 because it was clinical, really. And moment of the day, well, seeing lots of faces before the game. You, Emma, Chris, Paul, Lindsay and Matt. The voice of reason was there. So it was a good day all round, really. Nice sunny weather. And we went.
Bit cold
We
though.
smashed them.
You
We
had that-
smashed them,
you-
really.
If you don't know, by the way, he had a brand new Stone Island, very warm coat that you won for a tenner.
Yeah, I won it on a raffle for a tenner, £1,000 coat. So happy day.
It's all right. Yeah. Well, there you go. Hope that luck keeps saying. Lewis, over to you now. Your thoughts on yesterday, the draw and man of the match and stuff like that. And by the way, my Philadelphia Eagles kick off in their playoffs in the NFL in a bit. So if anybody has any update scores, let me know.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Rodrigo Gomez too, and I'm happy to see that he's found a place in the team, and he looks like the player that we saw in pre-season. He looked really good against Forest, I thought, on the left side, and yeah, I'm glad. I'm really happy for him. I think when you come over, especially as a younger player from abroad, we've seen it with Fabio Silva, how it can go wrong because of the pressure. It's slightly different because Fabio was obviously thrown in and there was a lot more expectation because of the salary. No, he's the transfer fee, sorry. But I'm glad that he's found his form quite quickly there, under Vitor. And he looks like the player that we all want to see. And I was really impressed with João Gomez as well. Also in the Forest game, I was happy to see him play really well. I'm just very impressed with the difference the manager has made in such a short space of time, though, because I think Gary was genuinely convinced towards the end that what he was doing was right, and it was the players that were at fault. And you can see straight away. I mean, even in that first game against Leicester, we saw how wrong that opinion is. The players have been there for forever. It's just getting the right manager in, and I'm happy that that's finally there. I think the performance rating. So Rodrigo Gomez would be the man of the match as well. The performance rating, I think everybody spoke about the first that 35 minutes, and to be honest, I think the guy who scored the free kick for them to make it 2-1, he's a very good free kick taker. So sometimes, that kind of stuff can happen. It's not like they beat us in open play with a really good move. Free kick, and it's a stupid free kick to give away as well. Really, there's not much.
It was soft. Wang, he never needed to do it.
So even though it's nice to keep the clean sheet, obviously that's always a great thing. It's not like the goal is something to worry about. Really, it's a good free kick, so that can happen. But I was slightly disappointed with the second half. I thought we could have maybe tried to kick on a little bit more, maybe gone for a third. I know Wang had those chances, and obviously Rodrigo Gomez at the post, I think later on in the half as well. But I really thought if we just got that goal, we could have just took a bit more control in the game. I know generally it was good, and we weren't really threatened too much, but just to look after ourselves and avoid any late slip-ups again, like in that first half. So I'll probably give a 7.5. And yeah, that was it from me, Dave.
Just a quick one. People want to know why I like the Philadelphia Eagles. Just because I picked an NFL team 10 odd years ago now, and it was off the back of the Mark Wahlberg film, and I've just liked that just since then. So I've stuck with it. I've not switched about. Not a fair weather. I've never been to one of the games. Watched a few, but that's the reason why. Lewis, Blackburn up next. Your thoughts?
I think it's a good opportunity to get into the next round, Dave. But the game has to be taken seriously, obviously. I like that Vitor's going for the cup as well. I think he's quite brave, but it's definitely a great opportunity to go and have a good cup run. And, if you win, obviously you get Europe. And it means that if we stay up and we get Europe, that's two really big ifs. But it puts us in a really different position for next season than it looked like we would be, a few weeks ago. So if we can stay up and we can go on even a cup run to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, if we went on to win the FA Cup, well, that'd be amazing. And it means that the transfer window for next year would look really interesting to me. I think maybe if we got that European football by winning the FA Cup, a couple of our top players like Cunha might even stay, and that'd be really special, I think. So yeah, got to beat Blackburn first, so and that's obviously got to be the focus.
One step at a time. Now, guys, if you want to get involved in the conversation on here live as we are at the moment, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button. It takes a second to do it. It's the only favor I'll ever ask you to do. So if you're not already, if you do that for us, that'd be amazing. Boston, it's your turn to shine now. Let's hear your thoughts on yesterday's game, man of the match, performance rating, and your moment of the day, if you've got it.
It was a very, very, very solid performance. I thought the new guy, he was like a tank, and he looks like a tank, but very mobile as well. Difficult to judge him totally against a championship side. I mean, obviously he's going to have a tough game on Wednesday against Newcastle with Isak and etc. But he looked solid. You know, I mean, there was one really good thing he did in the second half. The ball was played through, and Johnson came out onto the edge of his box, and I was thinking, this is going to go horribly wrong here. And he just took control, and he just hoofed it out, you know, out to the for a throw in on the left. You know, I think he thought, well, I don't think this guy's going to come far enough, you know. But that was good. That was good. He looks comfortable on the ball. But it's his first game, isn't it? So the jury's out.
I thought he was a little nervous to start with, but I'm glad that Vitor put him in because, you know, I know it was the championship, but the pace of English football is probably a little bit faster and stuff like that. And I think Vitor, if you watch the video of his first day, he was talking straight away to him. Then if you switch off, they'll score 2 goals past you straight away. And I think he was a little nervous. What I quite liked about him is the way he was always looking to spray the ball as well. He was spraying the ball out, which is good.
Yeah.
And he's a strong lad. Just the pace of the game is something that, against the Newcastle, you know, he's got to be really on it for that. So let's hope that experience at the weekend has done him some good.
But I have to say, I think Santi playing alongside him looked after him as well. He was very, very dominant. I mean, I'll come on to the man of the match, but I thought Santi didn't do a thing wrong yesterday. Not one thing, you know. Yeah, but
he's getting a run in. He's getting a run in the team. As well now, and I mean, I think Sutty, you talked about Santiago Bueno last season, said he's going to be he's going to be one of the main guys.
Just quickly on that, Dave, what he does need is he needs 2 centre halves, one with the left foot and one with the right foot either side, and he needs to play down the middle. Now the kid that's just come in, he checks back on his right foot all the time, so he isn't the answer on the left side. And my big worry here is that we're just waiting for Totti Gomez to get fit so we don't have to buy that left-footed centre-back.
Good point. A good point.
Yeah, Totti does give us a balance, a better balance, being left-footed and, you know, and then with Aït-Nouri playing in front of him. I think a revelation, though, since I know it didn't work against Forest because he played Lima there. I do rate Lima. I think Lima's, you know, he's only, 18, I think, 18, 19. You know, so, yeah, there's a lot of future there. But Semedo makes Doc look good there where he's playing at the moment because he's a very good defender, Semedo is. And very experienced as well. So, you know, that has worked. It didn't work against Forest because he wasn't there, Semedo, you know. But anyway, that's beside the point. As far as I totally agree with Sutty. Rodrigo and Guedes. Guedes is the most improved player that we've had this season. You know, he's just a different player. You know, I mean, even under O'Neill, he was looking good, wasn't he? I mean, we were all saying sell him. You know, and then he had a really good pre-season, as did Rodrigo. And then he sort of, I saw him in that friendly, you know, against that Spanish side, and he seemed to lose a bit of confidence in that game. I don't know why. He seemed, you know, it was. He had him taking corners, and then he couldn't get the corner into the danger area, you know. And then Gary O'Neill hooked him at half time, you know. Anyway, but he's a revelation, and he's such a busy player. He's a very, very busy player. He's so enthusiastic as well. It reminds me.
Yeah, we love that. We love that enthusiasm. To be honest, and it like Sooty covered that off, and we like someone that he definitely wants to be here. He's enjoying getting on the pitch. So you're agreeing with Rodrigo Gomez?
As man of the match, well, I just wanted to give a good shout out for Joe Gomez and Andre. That pivot in midfield, that's the future for us. Those two, they've got to be our first choice. I mean, they do the dirty work, the pair of them, don't they? And that's what you need, really. What else do Guedes, I'll give Rodrigo the man of the match actually for that. Yeah. As far as the draw's concerned, Dave, I'm happy enough with that. It'd be better if it'd been at home, obviously, or for me personally, a Southern team, apart from Crystal Palace.
Blackburn,
I wouldn't have wanted the Eagles of Crystal Palace, because that's a shit hole. Oh, sorry, it's after 9 o'clock. Yeah.
I love it, mate. I love it. What about your performance rating?
I'll give it an 8 because I think we managed the game. I mean, although we're biting our nails at the end because we're Wolves, aren't we? We're used to it, aren't we? So, but I mean, they didn't really create anything, did they? Like I said, I went with my mate I used to work with at Saints. He was from the Bath Academy. Saints have a satellite in Bath and in one in London as well. There's a reason for that. I don't know if we're going to it now, but I'll tell you about it. Why they have those satellites? Well, I can tell you now. They have a 50-mile radius that you're supposed to be able to pick players from. Southampton's on the south coast. 50 miles. You're in the sea. You're in the sea.
Passing by, you might be able to pick them up.
Yeah, so they got these satellites, one at Bath, and that covers like Bristol. And Dave, my mate, he was actually a player at Bristol when he was young. Yeah, but anyway, we went to the game together, and I wanted to tell you this because it's something you'd be interested in this. He took me into that bar. I don't know if you saw it where you came from the ground. Do you know that brand new stand they got, that big 2-tier thing? As it comes round to their bit where they go behind the goal, there's a bar in the corner. It's absolutely fantastic. It's the best bar I've been into in an away ground. It's massive. It is inside. It's double storied. They've got the biggest TV screen, biggest flat screen in the country, apparently, one guy told me. The queuing system is sorted out. They've got a fantastic queuing system, so it's not a free for-all, where everybody's just going to the bar. You queue up. And brilliant, really, really good atmosphere in there as well. They've got the well, obviously there's no game on, but obviously it was a 3 o'clock kickoff. They'd have the 12:30 game on, and all that, but really, very, very impressive. And that's what you get when you got an owner that is committed to that club. Yeah, they were eulogising about their owner. I don't know. It's the guy who owns this Lansdowne company. This some sort of financial service. He was a billionaire apparently, and that's his passion. And he's not even from Bristol. I don't know why he chose Bristol. Why he didn't choose bloody Wolverhampton? I don't know.
Brian. You can talk, you can, man. People are saying you got some stories. So you what's your performance rating?
Oh, my performance rate 8.
You're going with an 8.
Yeah.
Craig, your thoughts on the game yesterday? If you want to speak about Agbadou, that's great as well. And of course, man of the match, performance rating, moment of the day, all that jazz.
I'm delighted that the Eagles have stopped their circling above us, waiting to pick us off. Because there's been a massive change in the team. The new lad, oh gosh, he's not to be played on the left against really good sides. He'll be taken apart. Because he's predominantly, he's absolutely right. You could tell yesterday everything was played very strongly on his right side. Yeah, he'll be fantastic on our right of the three. Really, really. I mean, he's a monster. I thought Bueno in the middle was imperious. He read the game. He was calm. played really, really well. And yet again, Doc had a really good game. There was a point.
He's almost revitalised, Doc.
Absolutely.
He's
There was
captain as well.
point in the second half when they broke, and I thought, here we go, they're going to score. And Doc just came across the back line out of nowhere and just swept it away. I thought he was really, really good. Andre, what a player he is, and you can always tell really, really good ballers, because they've always got time and they always make time for themselves. So with a touch, he gives himself an extra yard, and he looks really, really good. Very, very different to Joe. Both of them are a sort of engine players, but Andre's got that bit of extra class for me. Wang, as I say, I hate being nasty, but he's just a waste of time, and I can't wait for Cunha to come back into the team. If Sarr gets injured, we're in trouble, because Johnson's not a patch on him. Suti was absolutely right. He was a yard and a half too far to his right.
You know what? Emma, we were talking. I was talking with Emma about the keepers, and she was saying that Sarr is number one.
Oh, without doubt, a mile now.
Yeah.
The future's bright if they don't screw it up. We've got some great younger kids coming through, experience, and we've got to stop playing their people that we brought to play, if that makes sense.
I think that makes complete sense. Like I say, Vitor said, January window is not the type of window to be bringing in players that you can develop over a period of time.
Absolutely.
I'm really, really glad to hear that he's come out and said, I want players that can come into the team and make a difference now, is what you said. And that's good to hear him say that.
And the skill factor at Wolves is sky high. But one thing where we're lacking, and we've got to sort it, is the physicality. We get knocked off the ball by more physical sides far too easily. Forest knocked us about Monday night. So we just need to beef up a bit and get a bit more aggressive in the challenge. But I'm delighted. Yesterday for me was a 7, and the reason being 9 for the first half. I thought we were imperious, apart from stupid Wang and the free kick that he gave away. But 4.5 for the second half. Yes, we weren't in too much trouble, but we were so far on top in the first half, and we were so much a better team than them. We shouldn't have given them
we got a bit sloppy at times. I felt
we got really
in the game that we thought we were so on top that we thought oh, this is easy. And
that's
then the
great sides come out though, Dave.
Yeah, well, the second you drop your levels, it doesn't matter who against any team, you give them half a chance, and then all of a sudden they get the next goal, and like they go in at half time, and you know what the team talk's going to be like. I was saying, I bet Bluey Vitor's giving ripping shreds out of them for that last 10, 15 minutes, because we had our net at our foot on their jugular, and we just didn't quite finish it off. And that killer instinct is what you've got to have.
Yeah, I said it in the chat pre show that I watch the blogs of the teams who play, and one kid said in that first half it was like men against boys. Wolves were just 2 or 3 levels above his team, and that was really, really great to hear. But then you can't take your foot off the pedal, and we've got to learn that this game is a 90-minute game, and we need to go all the way through, be aggressive, take the clear chances that we're creating for fun. We need to start scoring.
We did create 5 good chances in the second half.
Absolutely, we did.
We woodworked twice. Wang did what Wang did. He should have at least he should have at least hit the target, shouldn't he, on those 2 chances?
Well, it was definitely. What's your performance rating then? Did you say what's your man of the match? Sorry,
man of the match was the young kid on the right, Rodriguez. He was superb, and for all the reason Sooty said. As a fan, what I want to see is a guy giving everything for me, and I can forgive an error and a mistake, and I'll get behind him. That kid showed to us yesterday he wants to play for Wolves. He wants to play for us fans, and we'll go with him all the way with that, attitude.
I love it. I love it. Let's look ahead now then, because the FA Cup, the next round of the week commencing the 8th of February. Like Sooty said, there'll be a large contingent of Wolves fans that'll be enjoying that one. It's going to be played over a weekend. I don't think there's any rounds of the FA Cup like last year. They're going to play midweek.
There is, Dave. It's from the 7th to the 12th.
Oh, is that the one? Is it the 5th round?
I think it's over a 5-day period. These ties are being played.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, generally, isn't it? I think.
And the Tuesday, I think.
Oh, is the one on a Tuesday, all for the TV, and that'll be if we get through, that'll be the round what's classed as the round of 16. So, yeah. So look, Newcastle coming up in the week. I think Newcastle are the most in form team in the Premier League at the moment. They've sort of hit a bit of a patch. We haven't it hasn't been a very happy hunting ground for us, Newcastle away in recent years. Always a good one. Looking forward to it though, because we're going up again this week. I'm actually going up with Craig and Joe, me and MRR. We're going to go. So I think we're stopping off at Whitby on the way up and getting some fish and chips and stuff like that. We're going to make a bit of a couple of days of it. So we're looking forward. Loads of other Wolves fans are going up. So looking forward for a performance. What's your thoughts ahead of this one, Sooty, and your score prediction? And I'm going to go around everyone else, and then we're going to do a Q&A at the end. So if you've got any Q&A for any of the any individuals like Lewis, Brian, Craig, or Sooty, or for the panel, now's your time to start putting it in the chat. And to be able to do that, you need to be subscribed anyway. Sooty.
Well, for everything Craig's just said about us needed to be more physical, we're about to come up against probably the biggest side in the league. And sorry, Dave, nothing. We won't get anything there. The place is raucous, as you know. It'll be very, very difficult. I think our smaller players will get bullied off the ball. They're on the crest of a wave, Dave, and I just can't see us getting anything there. Sorry, mate.
What was the score in the FA Cup with the Newcastle today? Because I know Bromley
3-1.
3-1.
Bromley scored 3-1. Okay, so you're going for what's your score prediction?
3-0.
So you're going for a 3-0 to Newcastle. Okay.
Yeah.
Lewis, your thoughts?
It's such a tough place to go, Dave, and the form they're in, the form that Isaac, Gordon, it's going to be a really tough game. I think as much as I spoke about how good of a job he's done in the past couple of games, Rodrigo Gomez, it's a shame that if it was me, maybe I would think about taking him out of the squad for this one, maybe on the bench, obviously still involved, but just not starting. I think if Nelson Semedo's fit, he needs to start, because I think he's a much better defender. And I think that's going to be maybe an issue looking forward, that the club are going to have to kind of sit down and discuss with Vitória and the players involved, because obviously Nelson's contract's up in the summer. He's going to want to play consistently, but Rodrigo Gomez is doing so well on that right wing back position. How do you manage that one? Because I think defensively we look weaker, but going forward he's so good, he's fantastic. So it's quite a tricky one, and I think that maybe it's nice to have both, to have that flexibility. If you have someone like Nelson who can defend well in games when you need to, but also you have that attacking side with Rodrigo Gomez. So it's going to be tough. And I'd like to think we can score. I think they'll definitely score 1 or 2 at least. The form their forwards are in. So, looking at that, maybe 2 or 3 for Newcastle. I'd like to think we could score, especially if Cunha plays. It could be 2-1, 2-2. but I think their defence is quite solid. So I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle.
Okay, 2-1. And yeah, that's a good point because we do have Cunha back. Now, obviously, we know that he went off at half-time against Tottenham. He's served his 2-match ban. Hopefully, it was just a precaution and he will be fit for us because he is key. Semedo's obviously was injured. So will he be fit for Wednesday night, or will they hold him back for the game against Chelsea? To make sure he's fully fit. Be interesting to see who's actually fit and available. Brian, your thoughts ahead of the tune?
Oh, it's a very difficult game, isn't it? As you said, they're the form side. I mean, they probably are the actual best form side at the moment, aren't they? I think probably going to lose 2-1. I think we'll score. Their defence isn't that great, but they're so good going forward, and they can change the game. They've got players that can come off the bench and change the game. You know, what's his name, Barnes, and other players. You know, but Barnes particularly. I mean, he took us apart, didn't he? Yeah, but it still got, like you say, we've got Cunha coming back. You know, we've got Andre now. Who didn't play last.
Got a bit of a reverb going on with you at the moment, Brian.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is that any better?
I don't know. Someone I'm getting reverb from somebody.
No, it's not me. I don't think it's me. But I say we got Andre back that didn't play last Monday. He obviously make a difference. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think we'll probably lose 2-0 or 2-1, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so another loss there. Charismatic, your thoughts?
We are creating lots, and I don't rate Newcastle's defence that much. As an attacking team, they look great. With Semedo back and Cunha back, I think this will be the first time that we've had a fully fit side within the new structure, and I'm hopeful. I think my water says 2-2, but I'd like to go for a 3-2 Wolves win. I just think that we're so capable of scoring more goals, and our boys need to come good. Strand Larson, I mean, how many chances he's got to have? So he's got to score someday. Cunha will score. So yeah, let's go 3-2 Wolves.
Maybe Wang will score as well. They're all,
No
you know,
chance.
they'll be watching this and they'll want to prove it.
He won't be anywhere near the team, I hope.
It'd be interesting to see what the starting lineup is on Wednesday. That's for sure. So, if you've got any questions for the panel, just as we're just finishing off, I did see apparently Carl says that Isaac has a hamstring problem. That would be nice if he's not available, because I do like Isaac and he's been on absolute fire. Here's the first question. Carl wants to know, has Victor Pereira now fixed on his formation? He's going to play in the Premier League or not? Lewis, have you got any thoughts on that?
I think the first time I really had a look at Victor Pereira was when he just joined, and from what I'd seen, he'd always played a 4-day. So maybe that's something he would prefer in an ideal world. Obviously, I think what I saw from Agbalu, he's capable of that. You know, he's one that you could put in a 4. You need to change the way. You'd have to change a lot there. I don't think we could have the fullbacks we have without Nuri and Rodrigo Gomez. So I think he probably will stick with a 3 at the back and the fullbacks, higher up, kind of in the midfield. So I think the summer will be the kind of time when we can make that decision and say, yeah, if he is sticking with a 3-4-3.
Interesting. Thank you very much. This is a question for the panel. So we'll go with Craig first on this one. How many wins do we need? Just a quick number.
8.
8 more?
8 more wins, yeah.
8 more wins. Okay. Yeah. Brian?
Minimum of 5, but along with about 4 draws.
Sutty?
6.
Yeah. Lewis?
I think 7. I think it's going to be quite tough down the bottom this season, Dave. But I think that teams like Ipswich, who are going to be in and around us, they're picking up points, and I do think that the top teams are going to get a lot of the points, and the teams towards the bottom, it's going to be really tight. So yeah, I'm going to go 7.
Yeah, no, you see, I always say 10 wins. Obviously plus a few draws. So I'm going to go 6 with Sutty. I think we'll pick up some points. I think 10 wins and a few draws should be enough. It normally is. So yeah, so I have got a question here from Chris Humphreys. He would like to know from the panel, what is their favourite Craig's laughing, so we'll go with you first. Favourite pre-match food?
Yeah, gosh. A Balti pie and chips, but it's got to be pucker. And I'm not joking for that. I love the soft pastry and pucker pies. So yeah, Balti, chicken Balti, pucker pie with orange chips and loads of vinegar.
I'm loving it. Thank Lord we have pucker pies back at Molineux now as well in all the stands. Brian, your favourite pre-match food?
Yes, chicken curry with chips. That's triple cooked chips from Tumwalls.
Yes.
As you know, Dave, I have a problem at the moment.
Yeah, their electricity at the moment is not working, but they hopefully will get that sorted soon. Lewis?
I usually just have a bacon sandwich or something like that, Dave, to be honest.
A nice bacon sandwich. What about you, Sutty?
Well, we just go Nando's, Dave.
A nice little Nando's. What do you have from Nando's, though, mate?
4 chicken thighs, medium sauce, piri chips, and spicy rice.
Well, Kishan's going for an Indian grill. Michael Dalway said he's got to be the Balti pie, right? Loving it. And Cool Mikey says pucker all the way as well. Oh, here's a question for you, which I'm going to answer first of all on this one. David Boyce says, FA Cup win or relegation? Look, we don't want to go down, but like, why can't we win the FA Cup and stay up? Why can't we have both? Who wants to answer that one?
No competition. Stay up.
Yeah, the realities of winning the FA Cup, I think since 1992, 6 different sides have won it or something like that. So it's very, very difficult to win.
It is.
Really difficult. But you can be lucky all the way up. You could
need a bit of luck.
You do,
you need a bit of luck.
But look, you have to be in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
The Premier League is above anything cup-wise. Now, I'd love it. I keep saying on here, we don't ever win anything. I want to see us win something before I shuffle off this mortal soil. But the chances of us winning anything are very, very difficult. So the next most important thing is to stay in the Premier League. You've always got a chance then because you'll entice the better players. Excuse me. So you've got to. The Premier League is everything. I'm sorry to say, but a little cup run gets everybody's spirits up.
It does, and we've got a very winnable game in the next round as well. If we, like you say, I think he'll go strong. He's set his stall out now and go strong. Rick Kilmore, question for that: if Wolves don't bring any other players in, are we down or not? Also, should Hobbs leave if no other players are through the door? Lewis, will go with you for this one first.
I think the team is good enough as it is, Dave, to stay in the league. I think it is. I want more players. We need more players to kind of push on and get where we should be. We'd stay up if we didn't sign anyone else, as long as we didn't get any injuries, though. That's kind of a key thing for me, which you could never predict. I think Matt Hobbs, if he signs next, I think he should leave. I think he should leave now, Dave. The performance over the kind of past few windows, we broke down his transfers a few shows back, and it's not good enough. I'm not saying that we have to rely on George Mendes solely, But I think for a long time, whilst Matt Hobbs kind of just went after he just came in, people really hated on George, I think, too much. Apart from Fabio Silva and Bruno Jordao, I can't really think of any other players that haven't worked out from George or haven't benefited us more than they have maybe cost us. So, and again, I really want to stress that I don't think George would. He can't be our sporting director. So fans can't think of him like that. He's not that. But Matt Hobbs isn't the man for us.
Who would you bring in as sporting director then if Matt Hobbs was to go?
I think for me, it just has to be somebody who has the experience at the top level. I know that people will look at Dan Ashworth as a candidate because obviously he lives locally and he's a fantastic sporting director. I think it just didn't work out in Man United because of Man United rather than because of him. But I think he'd probably be too good for us. I think his standard may be a bit higher, which is a shame because he would be fantastic.
They paid him the right money and he lives local. It'd be perfect for him, though, wouldn't it?
Dave,
Yeah, go on.
Hobbs should go without any question. Anybody that gives a manager who hasn't won a game in 11 games in the back end of last season with the shape of play that we were playing, which anybody that has played the game or understands the game could see we got no shape, and then give him a 4-year contract, doesn't deserve to be in our club. End of story. And then when you've got to go back to Mendes, what do we need Hobbs for?
Well, I think you got to have a balance between the battles. Like Lewis was saying, he ain't the sporting director. He's still got someone there that's going to be over that. Keith, you got your hand up?
Just a quick one on Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth is the ideal candidate for that role, but the trouble we've got, as I've been saying to you for 3 years, smacking my head against this brick wall, is nobody with any gravitas in that position will work under Jeff Shee.
Yeah.
Jeff Shee is a dictator. I've told you this time and time again. They will not work under him because they need a free rein to be able to do their job, and he won't allow them to do it.
Okay, there is an argument, of course, to saying that actually Matt Hobbs has had a much bigger free rein since obviously the Mendes went stuff out, and Matt Hobbs has been pretty much calling most of the shots in terms of who we're going to get in and stuff like that. So there would be an argument to say that actually the current sporting director has had much more of a free rein than any previous one. So I don't know. Maybe I think obviously you're right. But Dan Ashworth would be for me the perfect person to come in, but he would need to do the job. And I also think we need a CEO. So Jeff can go, if Jeff goes upstairs to Fosun, and we bring in a proper CEO as well. Because who would run the club, and Jeff can then focus on the esports side and all that sort of stuff, because that's obviously he's got a passion for that. But let's see what happens. We don't really know what's happening behind the scenes. Jeff was recalled back apparently to China, to Fosun HQ, and spent a bit of time over there, and then things started happening just after he came back. So let's see. Someone wants to know your favourite Beatles song, Sutty.
I Am the Walrus.
Are you there? Really? Craig?
She's leaving home.
Boston?
What should I say? Revolution.
Lewis, have you got one?
No, I have to disappoint you there. I don't have a favourite Beatles song. It's just
Fair
not
enough. Fair enough. The producer's saying she's with Lewis. I quite like Norwegian Wood. But what is it? Hey Jude's a good one as well. What's the Helena Rigby? I love that one. Helena Rigby. Let's just see if we've got any more questions. Neil says we've made him hungry. Luke Skywalker reckons the force is with us. The FA Cup and the league. So does Nine Black. He thinks the same as well. Oh, what's the worst signing this season? Anyone got an answer for that?
Johnson.
Johnson. Okay.
Wasting money every time. Spot on.
That was our centre back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Someone says, Lana says, get Dalrymple back as CEO. Have you managed to spot the secret word, guys? Before we go, I'm just looking. Phil thinks he likes Help from the Beatles. Get Back 1969. He likes those. Working Class Hero. Day in the Life. I like Hey Bullet. Does anyone know what the secret word is? Has all the panel said it? I heard. So we're going to give people. Someone thinks it's atmosphere. It's not atmosphere. No, it's not. It's not atmosphere. Do we have any other guesses? Do we have Lucas Sharma wants to know the favorite cuisine, but we're not going to go into that. We've done that. Terry has gone.
Terry's
Eagle.
got it.
It's Eagle. Oh no, it's not Pucker Pie. Sorry, where's Eagle gone? It's Eagle. Yeah, you got it. So, like, Craig, when did you say it?
When the Eagles were circling.
Boston, when did you say it?
When I mentioned Crystal Palace in the cup, the Eagles.
Yeah, Sooty, when did you say it?
Get Edge, the eye of an eagle.
I love it. And Lewis?
I didn't manage to get it in, Dave.
You didn't manage to get it in. Never mind. It was a good try. I obviously said Philadelphia Eagles. So we got it in. Look. So well done to Terry. He has won himself a smile and a thumbs up from all of us on the screen. Well done, Terry. And listen, guys, I hope you've really enjoyed it tonight. And I'm just laughing here. El Nino said the secret word is Sel Wang. That's, by the way, a moment of the day yesterday, which I wish I'd have thought about. The producer mentioned this after the game. Was when they started seeing Victor Pereira. He swapped the iPad for the notepad. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Football
and I was
humour.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. And this Agbadoo song, I said I got the first line. Agbadoo do came from France to Molyneux. Agbadoo do. Someone said hates the. I can't swear. Hates the S word like me and you. And anyway, this song's it's going to happen. Surely this Agbadoo song's this is going to happen at some point. Squash, pineapple, and all that jazz. Anyway, listen, guys, absolutely fantastic. John Harrison says the Legals are 10-0 up. A final word, final little. Keep it to a paragraph, Brian. Thoughts. Finish off the show.
No, as I always say, keep the faith. You know, it's getting better. Just need to get through these next few weeks with a few points. You know, even if it's about 5 or 6, but it's going to be tough. But we've got some good players. We've got some good players there, and we've got a good manager now. So keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Craig.
We're going to pick up more points through this really tough period than most people think. For the very reason Brian's just said, we've got some really good players and a manager that knows what he's doing.
I love it, Lewis.
I think it's just a really good chance to just have a look at how far the difference is. You know, it's only been a few weeks, Dave, but the things are really looking up. You know, we got one signing, we got that centre back in. We can get another centre back in, a couple of others. Things look really good then. So I think it's important just to remember how bad things were, and in that last game with Gary. Yeah, it's a big turnaround.
Absolutely, it's nice to be feeling a little bit more positive. And Sooty, the final word on the final word for this weekend to you, mate. And I like the fact that you got a matching pen to go with your with
Not meant to be.
It's actually exactly the same colour.
Look,
It really is. It's the same colour pen. It's like, did you buy it as a set? Did you buy it as a set?
we won't go down. Ipswich will drop off at some point, and like Craig said, I've got far more faith now with this manager. He's give us structure. He's clearly not to be messed with, and I think he's probably the closest thing we've had to Nuno. The biggest balls up we've ever made, letting him go, but he's gone, and so we've got to move on. And after this, I'm ditching this top because I cannot have any connections to Celtic that are coming up in the comments. So you'll never see this again.
You love your Rangers, don't you?
Oh God, I can't have that. So it'll be ditched. I promise you. You'll have the blue back on next week.
Fantastic. Somebody's asked what the next episode is. I'm not sure. I'll keep you up to date. It's definitely probably on. I don't know. I'll let you know when the next episode's going to be. It's just fitting it all in because of the way the fixtures fall. Listen, Lewis, thank you ever so much, mate. Brilliant to get your thoughts on again today. We'll be able to see where the rest of that window goes. Brian, thanks for being so succinct again tonight. Much appreciated. Sooty, yeah, sorry about the Celtic references there. Look at his face. He hates it. He hates it. Mate, you're not. Are you going to Newcastle, mate?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, somebody's just asked me on here. Am I going with Dan Fletcher? Yes, I am going with Dan.
All right, so we'll see you up. And charismatic, looking forward to those couple of days, mate. And we'll have a good couple of days, whatever the result on Wednesday, but I feel we can get something out of it. So why not? Why not? Although obviously you got to have a heart attack climbing up the steps to get to your standing area at Newcastle. But yeah, it's always a great away day, guys. Thank you ever so much for enjoying it. Thank you if you smashed the like on the video. We've had over 700 of you watching across the different networks tonight live. Loads more of you will watch it on catch up, so leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks if you've hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. And of course, if you're listening to it on the podcast, whatever podcast provider, take a second out to give us a 5-star rating on that as well. That'd be appreciated. So from myself, Lewis, Brian, Craig, and Keith, and myself and the producer, keep the faith. Onwards to Newcastle. Let's have a good one. Always Wolves.